the terror's now your host, Zombie.
What is going on, horror fans? Zomboy here. On this episode, we're going to be talking about 1987's The Lost Boys. This movie was directed by Joel Schumacher. It's rated R. It comes in at an hour and 37 minutes. IMDb has this one rated as a 7.2 out of 10. Letterboxd has this one rated as a 3.7 out of 5. Let's talk about the cast. This movie has quite the lineup. Starting off, we got Corey Haim as Sam, Jason Patric as Michael, Corey Feldman as Edgar Frog, Jameson Newlander as Alan Frog, Jamie Gertz as Star, Chance Corbett as Laddie, Kiefer Sutherland as David, Alex Winter as Marco, or you might know him as Bill S. Preston Esquire, Billy Worth as Dwayne, Brooke McCarter as Paul, and the man, the myth, the legend, Tim Capello as the buff, greased up saxophone player. Let's read the plot. When a recently divorced mother and her two teenage boys move to a coastal town to stay with her father, it doesn't seem to take long for the brothers to realize this area is a haven for something much more sinister than party-going surfers. So this movie starts off with some punk kids. They're down on the boardwalk. They're getting kicked out by security because they're harassing other people at the boardwalk. Later that night, you see the same security guard, while walking to his car, gets attacked by an unknown force coming from the sky and is killed off screen. You meet Lucy, Michael, and Sam, and Nanook. They're moving from Arizona to Santa Carla, the murder capital of the world. Which, fun fact, the reason that's in this movie, it is true. So during the 1970s, Santa Cruz, where this movie was filmed, was rocked by a series of brutal murders that earned the nickname the murder capital of the world. Between 1970 and 1973, the town was terrorized by not just one, but 3 serial killers at the same time. You have John Fraser, Herbert Mullen, and Edmund Kemper. 28 murders within the 3 years between the 3 of them. So at that time, it was true. Was the murder capital of the world. You meet Grandpa when they're moving in with Grandpa. While they get back on their feet after the divorce, when they get there, he is found dead on the porch.
Dad? Dad?
Looks like he's dead.
No, he's just a deep sleeper.
If he's dead, could he go back to Phoenix?
Playing dead. And from what I heard, doing a damn good job of it, too.
Dad! Oh.
Playing dead for when they get there. Super messed up, man. Michael and Sam end up going to the boardwalk that night to go check out a concert where you've got Tim Capello playing his saxophone, all greased up on stage for this epic scene where you get to introduce Star and Laddie, who instantly get the attention of Michael. You can tell right off the bat, Michael is super attracted to Star, but who isn't? After Star leaves, Michael ends up walking after her to go meet her. He splits up with Sam, who goes and checks out one of the local comic book stores at the same time. In the comic book store, you get introduced to the Frog Brothers.
Look, you can't put the Superman number 77s with the 200s. They haven't even discovered red kryptonite yet. And you can't put the number 98s with the 300s. Lori Lamaris hasn't even been introduced.
Where the hell are you from? Krypton?
Phoenix, actually. But lucky me, we moved here.
Edgar and Alan Frog, they run the comic book store, which is just a cover for their vampire killing business. Cuts to Mom. She's walking the boardwalk as well. She meets Max, the owner of the store, who offers her a job. Later on, you find out that Star's with the group of punks that get kicked off the boardwalk earlier. Sam goes back to the comic book stores, talking with the Frog Brothers, and the Frog Brothers try to give Sam a copy of a vampire comic book, and he tells them that he's not into horror comic books, and they said this one might save your life. And our phone number's on the back. And that Santa Carla is overrun by vampires. Michael bumps into Star on the boardwalk while looking at someone getting their ear pierced. Star approaches him and tells him if he wants his ear pierced, she'll do it. They meet each other and agree to go grab some food together. While walking to his motorcycle, they run into David and his gang.
Where you going, Star?
For a ride. This is Michael.
Let's go. Star, you know where Hudson's Bluff is overlooking the point?
I can't beat your bike.
You don't have to beat me, Michael. You just have to try and keep up.
They decide to race their motorcycles to the bluff. They get in a little bit of an altercation because Michael almost goes off the end of the bluff. They decide to go get some food, so they take Michael to their hangout, which is a cool old abandoned hotel that basically sunk into the ground, and they've turned it into this really cool hangout. They get some Chinese food, and they're eating Chinese food. David's messing with Michael, making him see things. He's seeing the rice as maggots.
How are those maggots?
Maggots, Michael. You're eating maggots. How do they taste?
And the noodles as worms.
Why don't you try some noodles? They're worms. And they're worms. Tony.
And then offers him a drink of something out of a wine bottle. Star tells him that he doesn't have to do it. It's blood. Michael doesn't believe her, drinks it anyways. And then there's a really weird scene after that where they're driving their motorcycles to a train trellis. They end up dropping down and they're hanging from the bottom of the trellis.
Come on down!
And a train comes and starts to go over the top of them, and one by one they start dropping into the mist. David's telling Michael, "You're one of us now, just let go. It's okay." He hangs on as long as he could till he loses his grip and he slips and falls. He's falling through the mist screaming and wakes up in bed. That scene, I'm not sure if it was supposed to be like a metaphor of the transition or if it really happened and they saved him before hitting the ground and placed him in bed. I'm not 100% sure on that one, but it's still a cool scene. Grandpa's going on a date and he doesn't have any cologne. So what does he use?
How about some Windex, Grandpa?
Yeah, let me try some of that, huh?
So he sprays some of that on his neck. He's gonna smell real good.
You have a big date tonight, Grandpa?
Michael starts acting strange. He's having a weird urge. Sam's up taking a bath, and he's drawing upstairs. And when he opens the door, Nanook attacks Michael. And Sam gets out of the bath to go see what's going on. You've got Michael bleeding all over the place, and he explains to Sam that Nanook bit him, but he was just protecting Sam. And that's when Sam notices that Michael doesn't have a reflection in the mirror. He can see straight through him.
Look at your reflection in the mirror. You're creature of the night, Michael. Just like out of a comic book. You're a vampire, Michael.
And ends up barricading himself in his room. Sam ends up calling the Frog Brothers. The Frog Brothers tell him he needs to drive a stake through his brother's heart. And he said he wasn't going to do that, so the Frog Brothers said, "It's fine, we'll do it." Michael ends up going to bed, and he wakes up floating in midair, ends up going outside and floating to Sam's window, and Sam ends up letting him in and agreeing to help him figure out what's going on with him. So he no longer really sees him as a threat because he's still acting like his brother. Michael ends up going to the old hotel to confront Star. They end up having relations, which is fine. I don't blame him. But at the same time, Laddie's always with Star, and he sleeps right next to Star's bed. So the whole time I'm thinking, well, where's Laddie? I guess he's watching. I'm not sure. You never know. Mom ends up wanting to apologize to Max because she missed their date and wants to drop off some wine to him, and she's end up chased out of his yard by Thorn, his dog, all while Sam is reading the comic book all about the Hounds of Hell. Sam goes back to the Frog Brothers, and they agree to help him figure out who the head vampire is, because they found out that if you kill the head vampire, all the half vampires turn back to normal. Mom's having Max over for dinner, and Sam's convinced Max the head vampire, and so he has the Frog Brothers over for dinner as well, so they can perform some tests. They do a garlic test.
Some Parmesan cheese on that?
Yeah, Sam, thank you very much.
Are you all right?
No, it's not cheese, it's garlic.
But you hate garlic, don't you?
No, I like garlic. It's just a little much. It's raw garlic.
Which he has no effect on. He just said it was way too much garlic, and then they dump holy water on him.
Here, quick, drink some water.
Whoa! Sam, what's the matter with you?
Does it burn?
Burn? What are you, nuts? It's freezing.
That doesn't do anything. And then they turn the lights off, and when they flip them back on, they have a big mirror in front of his face.
Wait.
Sam, what has gotten into you tonight?
And he has a reflection. So they end up just ruining dinner. Max leaves. Mom's really upset. Max agrees they'll try it again tomorrow night. She can go to his house and he's gonna cook. Michael ends up confronting David looking for Star. And David tells him that if he ever wants to see Star again, he's better comes with him. So they take him to this huge bonfire going on down by the beach. They end up turning into full vampires in front of Michael and attacking everyone at the bonfire, just ripping them all to shreds. Afterwards, they basically tell Michael,
So, now you know what we are. Now you know what you are. You'll never grow old, Michael. And you'll never die. But you must feed.
"You've gotta feed." At this point, they team up with the Frog Brothers, Mike and Sam. Michael takes them all to the hotel, the underground hotel, and the Frog Brothers are all geared up. They've got backpacks with stakes and all kinds of stuff. So they go down there. Michael is retrieving Laddie and Star, taking them up to the car because they can go in the daylight because they're half vampires. The Frog Brothers and Sam end up following this tunnel and down into like a crypt area where they find the vampires hanging from the ceiling.
This looks like a dead end. Let's head back, huh?
They must have hidden the coffins around here someplace.
There's nothing here. Let's go, guys.
Jesus! Ah! Ah!
I thought they were supposed to be in coffins.
That's what this cave is. It's one giant coffin.
No, don't even.
Good night, bloodsucker.
No!
You did me!
All the vampires wake up and start going after him. So at this point, they're running up this chamber that they came down to get down there. David grabs one of them by the ankles, but they're saved by sunlight, which burned David. So they end up gearing up. They go home and they realize that the vampires are going to come for them now. So they go to a church and get holy water. They get a whole bunch of garlic. They go home, board up the windows, and they send Grandpa on a date. They get a bunch of squirt guns too with holy water. It's pretty sweet. As soon as the sun goes down, the vampires come, and there's an epic last battle. You've got Dwayne crashes into the house through the fireplace. You have Paul. He's upstairs attacking the Frog Brothers. Frog Brothers end up splashing him with holy water, and it burns his face. And then Nanook ends up jumping on Paul and knocking him into the bathtub where he melts. Sam is attacked by Dwayne till he squirts him in the face with his squirt gun, which burns his face. He ends up shooting him with an arrow, but misses his heart, and shoots a second one. It goes straight through his heart, and he goes into the stereo, which turns on and starts playing like rock music while the vampire slowly electrocutes to death. And then Sam's got the dialogue.
Death by stereo.
Michael and David finally face off. It's vampire versus vampire now because David is a vampire and Michael has turned into a vampire. They're going back and forth, pushing each other around. They both can fly now. And then finally Michael impales David on a set of antlers and ends up killing him. Mom and Max show up. The house is trashed. Max finds the bodies. And finally he comes clean that those were his boys and that he was after the mom the whole time. And he in fact just wanted her to be part of the family and that he is the head vampire. Max turns into a vampire and Grandpa saves the day driving his truck through the wall and impales Max with a giant fence post through the heart and he explodes. And then Grandpa's got the epic last words of the movie.
The thing about living in Santa Carla I never could stomach. All the damn vampires.
Lights go down, music kicks in. That is the end of the movie. This movie is fantastic. Tell me what you think. Do you think the film still holds up? Or is it more nostalgia than substance? You know, for this one, I've got a lot of nostalgia to this one. I have seen this movie so many times. I love the characters. I love the music. The music in this movie is epic. The acting is good-ish. I will say the Corey Feldman, he plays Edgar Frog, and he does this weird voice through this movie, which is very strange, but at the same time, I kind of like it. It's goofy, it's fun. You know, I love the blood and guts. The special effects are good. You know, and then this one launched a whole career of the Coreys after this movie. This was the first one, you know, 1987. You've got Corey Feldman and Corey Haim. They starred in this in 1987. They did License to Drive in 1988. Dream a Little Dream in 1989. Blown Away in 1993. National Lampoon's Last Resort in 1994. Dream a Little Dream 2 in 1995, Busted in 1996, and The Lost Boys, The Tribe in 2008. And then they actually did some TV together as well. So it launched this whole era of the Coreys together, and this was the very first one, so it was kind of cool. You've got the leather jackets, the neon lighting. This one just has an MTV-worthy soundtrack. I mean, song after song of epic hits, and a lot of them, when you hear them today, you think of this movie, like they just get engraved in your brain. This movie being a vampire movie, it was the first one that stood out to me that wasn't the classic seducing, handsome vampire that, you know, lived this lavish life. Instead, in this one, to me, it was one of the first ones where you got these punk rock kids doing what they want. They're running the town. You know, you got Kiefer Sutherland playing David, who looks like Billy Idol. The hair is amazing. The costumes are freaking epic. There's so much to this movie I like. You know, is it the perfect movie? Definitely not. But for me, being, you know, a kid in the 80s, I love the feel of these movies. They really engrave the era they were filmed in, and this one did a great job at that. And then the cast is insane. I mean, this has such an epic cast to it, and I didn't even list them all. And then don't ever play the drinking game to this. If you were to drink a drink every time they said Michael in this movie, you'd be in a lot of trouble. It is humorous how many times they say Michael. At the end of this video, I went and I cut most of the Michaels out of the movie and I put them all together. Not all of them. I cut some out because it was a very long video. But you'll have to watch that. It's pretty funny. So that is The Lost Boys. Tell me what you think about it. You know, for me, again, probably I would say a 3.5, 4 star out of 5 movie. But I add like another star because of nostalgia. You know, my letterbox on this one is 4.5 out of 5. I love this movie. But tell me what you think in the comments down below. Do you like this movie or do you think it's just nostalgia? Nostalgia over substance. I appreciate watching this video. I will see you on the next one. I appreciate watching. This is Zomboy signing out. Bye.
Michael.
Mikey. Good time. Michael.
Michael.